Hi, good people. Join me in my homemade cocoa matcha. But today we're not talking drinks or food or anything like that. I'm just talking about how chairs, let's think about how chairs are designed for our bodies, but really for our minds. And you're like, this is cuckoo. What's wrong with this lady? But think about how much you do in a chair. You're seated at the dining table, you're seated in a classroom, you're seated in a waiting room, you're seated in a bus, you're seated on a train, in a plane, in a plane in economy, or you're in first class or business class. It changes everything. Think about it. Sometimes you need to go and think things through. You're going to sit in a particular chair in your home, maybe in a couch, or you need to sit at your desk. Like, I find that I cannot work on my bed. I cannot work on my bed or in my bedroom. I have to be seated at a desk in an upright chair with my computer on the desk, not on my lap, not on the bed. I will not achieve anything. Think about that. It's about comfort. It's about, if you're sitting, if I'm lying in my bed, or even if the desk and the chair are in my bedroom, I always feel I need a room that is strictly for business, for getting things done. So I will inevitably move back into the study or the room where my desk and chair are. So there's something about making you think better for some of us. You want to watch TV. Some people want to sit in a reclining chair. And I remember my sister had she has a media room, and she has her own reclining chair. She has a whole array of comfortable seating in the media room. And how it would drive her crazy when anybody went and sat in her chair. She chose it specifically. She chose the fabric. It was a reclining chair. It fit her size. She's tiny. And for anybody to just be jumping up and sitting in her chair was, but why was that so important to her? Some people don't need to sit in between people. They need to be at the end. Or this, even in certain classes in college, the teachers will want us to sit in a circle, so we move all the desks and sit on these chairs, boardroom chairs, and a boardroom table. So sterile, so as a creative, I don't like boardrooms. I don't like that kind of seating. I can't think in there. I can't think creatively in there, because people are coming there and they're very hardcore, and they're very, it's all about this business. People lose their humanity. That's what I found. Don't like boardrooms. And they're usually rooms with no windows, or even if they have a window, nobody's opening it. They want it shut. They want it dark. You never think that a chair can change how you think, but it does. You need to be comfortable sometimes, maybe to knit whilst you're knitting, and whilst you're knitting, you're thinking things, your own little world, or you need to sit comfortably. You need a special kind of chair to sit behind your desk, or to sit with your computer or your laptop or your phone or whatever and get things done, or just relax. So why aren't the chairs made to suit our minds? Maybe there's that in the background. Some designers think about that. The structure of a chair, if it's an armchair, if it has arms, it has no arms, if it's ergonomic. If it's not ergonomic, then for some people, like I had to get an ergonomic chair at work one time, because the table and the chair just were not giving me my hand support. And my doctor had to write a letter and say, you better get her this thing, ergonomic chair and a proper desk. And the boss who had come from the main office had told me, she said, this seating is going to affect you. And I kind of rolled my eyes in my head and thought, Not even a month or two later, I noticed something. I couldn't grasp things. A little bit of carpal tunnels. And I went straight to my doctor, and he was like, we got to get you a whole new desk and chair. What kind of chairs do you avoid? Like in a waiting room, in a dentist chair, hard stools, no padding. I always remember my dad. my dad had a flat butt, no bones for butt. And he would be like, it hurt him for so long sitting on that chair, and I used to feel so sad. So my mom made him like a donut so that he could sit on one chair wherever he could. At work, he had one and then she gave him a cushion as well. And so he always had a cushion at his desk because chairs were too hard for him. And he's one of those people. He was an editor, legal draftsman, so he's the editor of the law reports and stuff like that. So it's also reading and editing and seated in one position for a long time. So the chair has to be conducive to your work as well. Make your mind feel ready to do what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, you're in pain, you're uncomfortable. You go to places, the chair is broken, actually broken. You go and sit, you almost fall off it, and they keep it there for people to sit on. Are there chairs that help you solve a problem or think clearly or calm you down? There are chairs like that. Not only armchairs. You sink into them, you feel so calm. It feels like a warm hug. It's got maybe a little cushion, or one of these vibration chairs which we had, which I never really liked. It vibrates and you can stretch it out. Reclining chairs. You can, have your back, get a back rub, a seat rub, a leg rub, and all that kind. Your leg is elevated and all that. A little too much, but people love that. They want to watch TV. They want to fall asleep in it, rest, read papers, do crossword, think up strategies. Have you thought about how a chair's shape, its age or its texture affects your mindset? Yes, I don't like leather. I don't like leather on my skin. I don't like leather chairs and leather car seats. So you find that the cars that I've had with leather, I always have some sort of maybe a towel or a covering on it. I don't like that sticky thing. And then when it's very hot, that seat can burn your skin off. So you can imagine. I know men are not going to complain about that because you're always wearing trousers that protects them. But if you're a woman, you wear dresses and skirts and shorts and stuff like that, you go sit on that hot seat in the car. Especially in a country like ours where the summer is so brutal. Oof, no. But texture. Sometimes you want a little bit of suede, but you also want suede, a kind of suede that is breathable. It's not sweaty. It doesn't cling to your skin. Sometimes age, the older a chair gets, the better, more comfortable you may feel. Or even regular dining chairs. As they age, good quality dining chairs or sitting rooms, as they age, there's a beauty about them and there's a comfort about them. And then think about the difference between the working chairs and thinking chairs. There are chairs that you sit and you get work done. And the chairs just maybe reclining to think things through about life, about work, about careers, about what you're doing, a project or solutions, finding solutions. And then you think about how there's a pressure also to have ergonomic furniture over intuitive comfort. It can be all ergonomic, but still be hard and uncomfortable, and maybe the angles are right. But you want something that also has an intuitive, that, this person who may be sitting in this ergonomic chair needs a bit of, a curve here and a little padding here and, things like that. Sometimes you have to think intuitively about what you're creating as a designer. And then think about some chairs. They hold so much memory. So many people have sat in it. Your great-grandparents, your uncles, your aunts. It's been passed down, or it's just been a piece of furniture just as it stood the test of time. And they hold emotion. And truth. Think of it, a salon chair. There's salons where the chair that the client sits in, that's where they come and release everything on their hairstylist. That chair holds so many details of people's lives and intimate information shared, critical. Truth. So when you say truth, incriminating. Some can be incriminating. Or the chair has seen growth, because sometimes children go when they're from the time they're small to a hair salon, and they grow up with the same hairstylist. That same chair is there, and they've sat in it. And think about where you sit in a room changes the conversation or mood. Think about it. And I always remember that. And I go back to college, where there are teachers who just had us in a semicircle. With them, part of that semicircle, he wasn't necessarily the focal point. They wanted to be with us. And it changed the whole dynamics. It changed the way you relate to the teacher, to the topic, to the subject, and how you like that class or don't like that class, things like that. And then there's the rigidity of just having a desk and all that kind of stuff. But you have to think about how the mood in a room changes with where you sit. So sometimes, like a lot of times, people would expect my dad to sit at the head of the table. He put his wife there, my mom there. Stuff like that. Some people are disoriented. Why is he letting a woman sit there? That's his wife. He wants her to sit there. Why not? Even in the car, there are lots of people who feel that I became my parents' driver after a while. And people would assume my dad would want to sit next to me. No, he sat in the back. He said he wanted to see his wife and his daughter, his what did he say? His precious cargo. He always said that, I want to be able to see you. So he always sat in the back in what is considered also the owner's corner. But that was his thing. He never was jumping up in the front because he's a man, and and some men don't even want a woman to drive them. My dad was the exact opposite. He taught me how to drive. Oh my God! It wasn't even legal in this country, but he took me to parking lots where they were building new apartments and taught me how to stick shift. So he wanted, it's progressive. So, and people think about how people sit in cars. There are people who always want to sit in the front. It's about being in power. I'm a backseat driver. I don't want to be pressing brakes in the front with you. I just want to be back. I don't want to be bothered about anything. I don't want anyone bothering me about directions and all. I want to be in the back, minding my business, and making sure that you are also alert. I'm also the eyes in the back, but I'm also allowing you to be. So think about that. Not necessarily when I say, think about how seating in a room changes. Where you sit, where somebody else sits, where somebody who's thought as a leader sits, changes the whole atmosphere. If the leader decides that, no, I want to sit with you people, somebody else sits in my chair, So let's think about how having a clear mindset or thinking clearly isn't just a mindset thing, but it's also about the seating, the chair that you sit in. Maybe some ideas need a rocking chair. Some ideas need a upright chair, a sitting room chair, dining room chair, and not a desk. That sometimes it's about the chair, not even the desk. It's about the texture of the chair. It's about the structure. It's about the memory in the chair that you choose it. It's the position of a chair in a room. And sometimes we should be able to design them to fit into these things. So I'm leaving you with this, that chairs are designed for the body, but rarely for the mind. Rarely for the mind. I wish you well, good people. Have an absolutely fabulous day. If you want more of these, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you here on Wednesday. On Wednesdays, my topics are different. Let me tell you what this is. I have a series of series, and Wednesdays is more about what should I say? I don't know. I have so much to share that I'm busy scrolling to tell you. I'm looking for my yes. So Wednesdays is real life ideas. So I will be real life ideas, and this is what I mean by real life ideas. And see you same time. Next time I'll make it alive, but today I just thought let me just upload this, and it will always be between around 5 p.m. Central African time, which is like 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care. See you Wednesday for real life ideas, and I have other series each day. Some days not, but take care.